So the U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is in Beijing for 3 days of talks with China's foreign minister. Ahead of Mr. Sullivan's arrival, China said it planned to voice its serious concerns over Taiwanese independence. That's red line for Beijing. The relationship between the U.S. and China has improved slightly this year following a flurry of diplomatic visits, but many areas of disagreement remain. It's hoped the visit could ease tensions between the superpowers ahead of the U.S. election. While China correspondent Laura Bierce and this update from Beijing. Chinese state media said, before Jake Sullivan arrived, that this meeting came at a critical juncture in US-China relations, and there are certainly a lot of differences between the two. The key to these meetings is to try to manage those differences. Beijing, ahead of time, has made their priorities clear for them. Taiwan is the red line and will always be the red line. They maintain that the self-governing island is part of the mainland, and President Xi has vowed to retake it by force if necessary. They resist any attempts by American congressmen, American politicians, to encourage Taiwanese independence. They're also furious that America has given military aid to Taiwan. Secondly, there's the South China Sea. This is becoming a major issue. In this week alone, there have been at least 3 skirmishes between Chinese Coast Guard boats and Filipino boats in the South China Sea. And this is critical because the Philippines is a key ally of the United States, and U.S. assets as warships come very, very close to their Chinese counterparts along the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea. And what Jake Sullivan would like to do during these meetings is encourage more military-to-military communication. The third big issue will be on Ukraine when the Secretary of State, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken arrived here earlier this year. He had a warning for his Chinese counterparts. He told them that if Chinese companies continue to supply Russia with components that Russia could use in its war in Ukraine, there would be consequences. America has carried out that promise. They have issued rafts of sanctions, and in fact on the day that Jake Sullivan announced that he would be coming to Beijing, America announced another raft of sanctions against Chinese company. Certainly when it comes to that, China denies that they are helping the Russian war effort, and they have told America to stop interfering in internal affairs. There's also the issue of trade, where the U.S. has imposed large tariffs on everything from electric cars to solar panels. As I said, these are vast differences between the United States and China. The key is to manage them, and the key is the fact that they're even talking 16 months ago, when a Chinese spy balloon was floating over North America and was shot down. Certainly then their relationship was at a very, very low point. The U.S. ambassador here in China has told me that he was one of the few Americans able to talk to anyone in Beijing. Since then things have changed, and Jake Sullivan has met Wang on 4 other occasions. There does seem to be at least a channel between the two to avoid competition veering into conflict. Thanks for watching. For more updates, like, share, subscribe, and press bell icon.